This is Chelsea, your brewer, your affluence advisor with the Verity Prosperity Clarity Project. And I appreciate you for joining me on this video. Were you one of the ones who used the Bible as a training manual for spiritual living? If so, I pose a question to you. Have you noticed the order of the chapters in 1 Corinthians? Chapter 12 lists the 9 spiritual gifts. Chapter 13 is the love chapter. Then chapter 14 discusses the application of those gifts. You know, I'd venture to say this is by design. And what's also by design is the development of this infotainment for your viewing pleasure. Elimination was the first of our series because you have to put out the old to let in the new. You have to give the new some room. An ancient parable suggests that we cannot put new wine into old wineskins because we'd ruin them both. The wineskin would fall apart receiving the new wine, and we couldn't preserve the wine that way. So, to ensure the new wine is enjoyed, we have to invest in its preservation. And that's what this whole series is about. Investing into ourselves so that we can make ourselves successful from within out. Our education into the skills that we can apply for generations to come, combined with the self-love that we've been neglecting to give ourselves, are both needed to achieve self-empowerment and self-sufficiency. Remember, we are to lay up wealth for our children's children, but we got to have it first, right? And this series is for you if you care about the spiritual awareness of wealth that is you, and also in financial literacy so that the wealth you are may be manifested. Did you know that scientists have concluded now that if we were to add up all of the energy in the trillions of atoms that make up our body, we're worth a whopping $86 billion. That's enough to run this country's electrical needs for an entire week. The entire country. Science has come a long way since we've had those instruments that measured us at only $32. With the powerful contraptions that we've developed since then, we're seeing more clearly. Amazing, right? This is why I've created this series. You are your own wealth, and we will discuss that soon enough. Now, back to the subject at hand. This is the part of the series where we discuss part 2 of our 12-part power series, love. All gifts and talents should be funneled through the consciousness of love. Many have their own definitions of love, and some diminish it to a mere emotion. I love you is not the same as I love you. Yes, there was a difference because the intention behind the phrase affected its meaning and its reverberation in the world. In some relationships, people say I love you when they really mean I have affections for you and I hope you have affections for me too. This is not love. This is attachment. You like how that person interacts with you. You like how they make you feel. True love is not exclusive. So exclusivity in relationships challenge the very idea of love, real love. This may be controversial, so let's think about it a little deeper. The definition in 1 Corinthians says love does not envy. But when you see the affections of the one you have affections for, sharing their affections with that woman over there, what's that heat starting to rise up in your chest? Envy, right? And are you the type of person to do this?
Hello?
Who the fuck you go to the show with last night?
I didn't go to the show last night.
You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
Ain't nobody lying. I didn't go to the show last night.
Yes, you did. Because my sister-in-law's baby cousin, Tracy, she told me she went to the show last night and she saw you there all hugged up with some giraffe. Now tell me who she was.
My sister-in-law baby cousin Tracy is a goddamn... Yeah, she a lie. She didn't see me at no movies hugged up with nobody.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what. You just tell the bitch whoever she is. When I catch her, I'ma beat her ass.
Looks a little puffed up, right? And anytime the person that you have affections for offends you and you bring it up later, you're keeping a record of their wrongs, when that's not really love either. Not unconditional love anyway. You're attached to conditions, an interpretation of the events, which were placed on a feeling that you experienced. Love is forgiving and free and still fulfilling. Now let's take this idea a little deeper. Love is not proud, so when you get with your new hugaboo, don't you want to talk about how fine your significant other is? Or how well hung he is? Or fellas, how deep her throat is? What that mouth do?
I did not come to play with you hoes. I came to slay, bitch.
Hold on. I'm here for the truth. Are you? If you want to play, run along to somebody else's channel, but I have fully realized the fact that I am light, so I'm shining. What I'm saying here is love is not a mere emotion. It's a force of nature. Minimizing it to a fleeting feeling diminishes its power and your power and what you are and who you are. God is love. You are love. And operating at this mindset increases your frequency, which increases your vibration, which improves your life, because what's attracted to you is reverberating at this level of enjoyment. In this place, you're your own miracle maker. Didn't Yeshua, Jesus' original name before the church changed it, say greater things we would do since he's going back to source? Receive in consciousness the power that you are. Now, let's look at 4 attributes of love. Love is the fruit of the Spirit. There is only one fruit, love, which is made up of joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Love has within it all those things. They're not separate. Many even separate God from his omnipresence, saying he's omnipresent. God is not an entity containing those qualities. He is the essence of that quality. God is not omniscient. God is omniscience. We've been taught the Most High embodies these qualities, but in actuality it goes further than just a character trait. God is the essence of that trait. Which brings me to my next point. Love is a decision. Biblical literists understand that John 3:16 tells us that Jesus gave his life for ours. Our Creator made that decision to send him into the earth. They also believe that Yeshua died for our sins. That too was a decision. And we remember those passages, him being under quite a bit of stress, trying to consider any possible alternatives. But we all know what ended up happening. We can decide to do good in the world, or we can decide to perpetuate hate, confusion, or dissension. We can decide to live the life we would love to live, or continue in that job that we hate every day. Just remember though, our decisions determine the trajectory of our destiny. Also, there's other schools of thought that believe that we actually decided to be incarnated at this time, at this day and age. But that's just something to muse over in your meditation and research time. Love is a force of nature. I mentioned this before. Perfect love casts out all fear. Love is as strong as death. Faith works through love. You can have faith to speak to a mountain and make it move. But if there's more faith in worry instead of the expectancy for good, it'll adversely affect your outcome. Speaking of speaking to a mountain, if all matter contains atoms that are constantly in motion and they're affected by the vibration in our voice from the spoken word, why don't we speak to our DNA? Why don't we speak to our bodies? Why don't we speak to our minds when we start thinking through? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So we should use our words more to create what we want, instead of allowing our complaints to destroy our lives and destroy our listeners' hopes. You're gods and goddesses. Create kingdoms. Create palaces. Man, just think of all the power that we have and the power of love within us. Love is unconditional. Love is not transactional. Love is the energy behind a gift that supports you and expects nothing in return. Nothing can separate us from this power of love. We were conceived in love. In love, we live and breathe and have our very being. And I would venture to say that many of the world's suffering isn't from a lack of love, but rather the lack of love's awareness that is us, is within us, and surrounds us all. Depending on what we choose to think will determine if love is in our consciousness, so that will determine if it's in our actions. God is love, and the omnipresence of Elohim doesn't flip on and off like a light switch. We are love because we are made in love's image. We have all the love we need, but the awareness is sometimes clouded. Draw near to love in your mind and love will draw near to you. Each one of us, you, me, we are love. And love never becomes something you look for when you realize it's who you are. Many can say they know love, but if God is love and her ways are beyond finding out and even surpasses knowledge, we can really only understand true love by a direct revelation from infinite intelligence. Now that we have covered what love is and what love isn't, how do we apply this force in our lives? How do we get to the place where we're living life in abundance to the full until it overflows? After all, that was the promise given to us before the foundations of the world. John was always by Yeshua's side, and by design, because love is the transforming, uplifting, harmonizing power of Christ consciousness, which is at the heart of the full realization of the atonement. Within the atonement experience, you realize all is yours, which is a great responsibility, a grace granted to you, allowing all matters of matter surrounding you to respond to your intentions and your desires. You recognize you are abundant because you are abundance. You realize you're not your body, and you reject all its limitations, because the I am presence that you are, it affects everything. And love is the power that attracts to us goodness according to the depth and strength of our understanding of love. The energy within friendships is based on love, a safe place for the unfoldment of the soul. Let us remember to cultivate this awesome faculty, to express it with wisdom. Love and wisdom go hand in hand. Remember that. And through wisdom and love, you are made perfect. So accept this as truth. This should be your new self-image, because this realization and application in your life will rid you of all the energy that allows doubt and fear to creep up in you, which destroys pretty much everything. You want to know the fastest way to realize the love you are and to surround yourself with the love you are? Gratitude. Once aware of love's presence, love twinkles in your eye. Love finds expression in your voice, and it changes atmospheres and it changes communities, and subsequently it will change every single one of us on this planet. When you recognize the good within and express it without, those expressions and actions are seeds planted towards the harvest that you're hoping for. Whether it be a new special relationship, a new gig, a new business deal, even a great meal, or a trip around the world. Now, if you've tuned into the previous video, you're aware that each one of these powers has a specific regenerative exercise associated with it. These exercises accelerate your results in the application of these powers in your life. Over a 21-day period, these exercises will help you transform every facet of your life: vocation, relations, and even your recreation. For those within my organization, you may receive this information at no charge. Just let me know you want access. Reprogramming the subconscious mind is an effort that you must dedicate yourself to. And I've designed a program allowing you to capitalize on how the soul works within the body. Now, if you're not within my organization, first of all, why not? But you would still like to participate? You can subscribe to the Prosperity Clarity University on my website. There's the website below, chelseabrewer.com, and for a low monthly membership investment of only $47 per month over 12 months, since there's only 12 powers, there's no long-term commitment and you may cancel at any time. Just remember, after you plant a tree, the sprout appears after a few months. However, it's your dedication that will make the difference in your results. If you would prefer a reduced rate of 35% off, you may choose to select the option of a one-time investment of only $367. Considering this investment is $1 a day to change your life, this opportunity cannot be ignored. You deserve the best. Don't choose to stress. So, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. Sharing is caring. And I look forward to next week because we will discuss the power of faith.